Oh, didn't see you there.
Hey guys.
Brandon and Jeremy here from friendofrc.com giving you our review of the Tekin T8/RX8 speed control. They're bought separately, reviewed together. Don't have a lot to say about them each standalone, so let's just do it like this.
You can now buy these in a combo. Just to point it out, it's about $340, but they do offer it that way.
Yeah, this is probably the next biggest competitor to the Mamba Monster, 8th scale brushless motor. We've got it here in the Ofna, what's left of the Ofna Hyper 9, so you can see some of the power that the T8 brings to the table. But I'm going to let Brandon take off with the technical here, because that's what he does best.
Hey, I hope I do it right. The RX8 T8 combo, awesome setup, perfectly matched. Now, keep in mind when you're buying these, I guess the first thing I'd like to point out, there's so many kV options, all the way from like 1200 up to 2600 and anything in between. So make sure you're buying accordingly. If you're not sure which one to get, do some research. This happens to be the 2050 kV, perfectly matched for this vehicle. That aside, ESC. The one thing you're getting here when you compare these to the Castle ESC, Castle has their link, so does Tekin, but Tekin gives you a little bit nicer programming option if you're on the field. They have 8 LEDs on here with a really intuitive system, so you can access some of those more advanced features without needing a computer screen in front of you. Saves you a little cash too if you don't want to buy their links separately. All that aside, I gotta say it's probably my favorite A-scale censored system. Mamba Monster is sensorless. Keep that in mind. You do see the difference when you're doing racing, low speed control, how smooth the throttle response is. These are awesome. Love it.
Yeah, the in terms of what I know from the technical side, all I know is I had to solder on the ESC. Like when I opened the box, I was like, oh crap, I just have all these wires, I got to solder. Castle comes with these nice little connectors, make your life easier, but that's like a nothing issue for most RC people. I'm just extremely lazy.
Yeah, but keep in mind, if you're buying this, you will be soldering every wire on here. There is, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 solder joints to do. They do have awesome soldering posts. I'll give you guys a shot of this.
Yes, we are using a Mamba Monster as a RC stand.
We might have had a little accident with the Ofna, but that's beside the point. Or it speaks to how much power it has. Either way. Yeah, all these posts here. Soldering posts, why do they do it? Well, it's great for soldering because you can reuse them. You're not soldering right onto a PCB or a circuit board, and it keeps the heat away from the board, so less risk of damaging the big post has to act as kind of heat sinks. So it's kind of a nice feature. Some of you probably hate it because you don't want to solder, but for racers, hardcore people that are into it, it's an awesome, awesome feature that I really wish every ESC had on it, to be honest.
Yeah, in terms of cost of operation, I kind of view Tekin as, and people at Tekin will probably hate this classification, but it's almost like a boutique motor. Like it's more like a upper crusty in some ways. Maybe not like in raw performance, but that's how it is here in Wisconsin. Like not a lot of people run Tekin out here just because everyone runs Mamba.
Yeah.
But so it's a little pricier for like a similar combo, right, to like the Mamba Monster combo. A lot of that I think probably is just economies of scale, like the mass production of the Castle system versus that of the T8. But I don't know.
It is what it is.
Yeah,
they're not quite as popular. But you talk to someone who races, you say, I'd like to get a Tekin system or have one. They say, oh, Tekin, they like it, but they probably may not have it because they don't want to dish out the cash for it.
Yeah, and with Tekin, it's kind of what's different about them. Like the T8 RX8 combo doesn't fall into this, but if you look at some of their short course motors and ESCs, sometimes people just don't like them. It's like they don't stack up as well to Castle. I found that this T8, I'll just jump right into fun factor, is like ridiculous. It's so fun. It's super fast. It just absolutely tears, and smooth, just ultra smooth, acceleration. I think probably the first or second time we ever had it out, we cleared a volleyball court by 15 feet, like on the first try.
Yeah.
Like there's
just
so
unreal.
much power.
Yeah, I think the censored system, and Tekin has like they call it, I forget, like a V2 system where they use censored off the line and then sensorless once you get going. Whatever they've done it right because you have the most intuitive throttle response, I guess is the way to put it, that I've ever felt. When you're driving, it doesn't feel jumpy, when you're hitting the throttle, it doesn't want to jerk around. You just feel like you're right in there in the vehicle, in control. Just an awesome system, and that's without, we've never messed with the programming on this thing. You can set different timing curves, whatever you want to do. But out of the box, plug and play, it's just an awesome system to have in your hand.
Yeah, and it really just jumps into value. Like, value's tough because it's somewhat subjective, right? So, you know, we're fortunate to be able to have quite a few different RCs, you know, and we have a couple different A-scale brushless motor systems. So, you know, to me, it's more like, is it a fair price? I still think like the Tekin T8 like RX8 combo is a little expensive for like the average Joe to go in and buy it and get a lot of value out of it.
Absolutely.
So, you know, 4 out of 5 kind of rating, just because, you know, I think you get everything that you pay for, but it's a little pricey, I think.
Yeah, it is high end. Like you said, it's kind of like a highbrow system. A lot of people don't need all the features it has, but if you're out there looking for it, you're getting your money's worth, but there might be systems better suited. A thing I'd like to point out, especially if you're a basher, if you're someone who likes to beat on your vehicles, censored may not be right for you. And the only reason I say that, besides the fact that it's got really great throttle response, you have extra wires, you have a whole sensor harness here, and they're notorious for breaking over time.
Yep.
Just wear and tear, a lot of tiny wires that tend to break off. You just want to stock up on sensor harnesses, I guess. A lot of it has to do with how you install it too, but keep that in mind. You got a few more wires to play around with. It's a little more sensitive of a system. You don't want to be, you know, beating it hard, running into stuff all the time.
Although that's precisely what we do with it.
We do it for you.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, this is if I was getting an A scale, like we've got our eyes on a couple buggies like coming out here, I would definitely run another T8 type system in there and might choose a different KV just for the hell of it, like to have 2 different KV T8s around. But you know, I mean, it performs well beyond what you'd ever expect. Would I go back and buy it again? Hell yeah, I would.
Yeah, same here, absolutely. I'm a huge fan of the Tekin systems. I wouldn't throw this in something like my Slash, you know, the 10 scale systems and like my Slash, or like even a monster truck, I'd go Mamba all the way. Yep. But if you're someone who has a nice setup like this, something you really want to put some pride and joy into and get the benefits on the track and even off, Tekin just keeps delivering. Once you drive a Tekin, you'll see why people love them so much. Yeah,
it's you know, their T8 system and their rock crawler, their brushed motors are amazing. The short course stuff, hit or miss. Not saying they're bad, but this particular one, the T8 and the RX8 combo, it's great. Yeah, yeah. So if you have any questions about the T8/RX8 combo or either one individually, post them up on down below, or shoot on over to our website at friendofrc.com. Thanks.
See you guys.